everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched Chapter 2 of Einstein, and it shows the increasingly difficult geometry of a love triangle. And we see the relationship that he has with Mary, and he doesn't find her a challenge or attractive. Yet Mineva becomes increasingly more alluring to him due to her mind. And we see her past and going through school and people being cruel and not understanding her gait and why. Well, I'm kind of curious because I'm not really familiar with Mineva that well, so I need a little bit more context. And I don't really understand if one leg was shorter than another. It's possible because I have a lovely friend who has an elevated shoe that she wears in order to have a proper gait, and she's older. Of course, I haven't seen her in a while, so I'm hoping she's okay, but I don't know if it was some kind of defect that Mineva had. I'm assuming. I can't really say that that is what it was, but I'll go on a limb and say maybe that's what issue that she had. It was very difficult for me to watch that particular part because going through school for me was hell on earth, and from elementary school into high school, even though I had a lot of teachers that enjoyed having me in class, and I even looked at my transcripts and I thought, oh, well, that is a pleasant surprise. I had forgotten because a lot of that I've intentionally blanked out of my head because none of that I enjoyed except when I was with my friends. And after I lost my best friend due to a popular preacher's kid, and I forgive her for that. I haven't spoken to her since she wrote me. I just thought, just let her live her life and leave it at that, because at one point in time, I realized, due to the fact that we had more money and more privilege, that she was taking advantage of us. And that's not the first time that's happened to me. I just thought that we were doing the right thing, and I became really jealous because, of course, my father, may he rest in peace, he pointed that out to me. He said, you know what, you're a very jealous person. I said, I never really thought I was, but he said, you didn't like it when I would do things for her and I was just being generous. And of course, my dad was a very altruistic man. He had a huge heart, and yeah, I guess I was kind of possessive. But anyway, just seeing that whole scene unfold, the scenario of when they were talking about molecules, because no evidence of molecules had been given yet, and she was absolutely brilliant because she was very familiarized with the Maxwell-Faraday equation, and I'm thinking that's what really enticed Einstein, and they started working together. She, of course, said something that any pragmatic and forthright woman would say. If you were just thinking of me as a conquest and just rattling the sheets, then I'm not looking for that. I thought, darn right, Mineva, you tell him. And he looks at her, and this scene, I just thought, if a man would just say this to me, I would just be at his beck and call. He said, and it was just absolutely wonderful. I thought it was the most romantic scene in the entire series so far. He looks straight at her, and he says, Miss Mineva, I am head over heels in love with your mind. I thought, oh, Lord, have mercy on me. Oh, and not only that, but if somebody would just sing a ballad to me, that would make my day. I know doesn't really happen in this day and age, is very old fashioned, and it's a little bit more complex to get somebody to notice somebody else. And of course, another thing that he said I thought was very telling. He said, in a world of millions of people, how on earth did we ever cross paths? And I thought, that's true, because a lot of people, they might be walking across a busy street, that crosswalk, and not even know that their kindred soul is walking on the other side, just passing like ships in the night. And how many stories start that way? It just makes you think. It really causes the old cogs and wheels to start turning. But I really enjoyed this particular episode because we get to see Albert challenging the authority of his professors, and his professors are getting a little bit hot under the collar because of it. And his classmates, of course, they think that it's absolutely revolutionary, and it was. And he continues to develop these scintillating theorems, and it's just so inspiring to see that, I think. And I can really relate to Albert, even though I am by no means a genius, but he was a daydreamer, and I am a daydreamer extraordinaire. Sometimes if I'm bored, I go off into my own little sanctuary where anything is possible, and I just see myself in other worlds, not here on this planet, but just wondering what I could find. And I've had dreams like that too, where I've traversed the cosmos, and yeah, those are very magnificent. I hate coming back, but I'm here for a reason. I can't quite figure out what that is yet, but there is hope on the horizon, and the hope on the horizon is the fact that I have another interview coming up tomorrow, and I do believe I will be able to get a job on the 10th, which is, why would they have that in the middle of the week? That makes absolutely zero sense, but from what I can recall, that's how they've done things in the past, so why would they change? I digress. It was very unusual. I was talking to them over the phone, and they said, "What's your name? What's your last name?" Of course, a lot of people completely bungle my last name due to the fact that it's got so many consonants in it, and it's just challenging for people, apparently. But I told them, and they're looking through their logs, and they say, "We find you are not in our system anymore." I thought, somebody probably purged the system because I've worked with you guys before. Why don't you remember me? But I hold no bias. I hold no judgment, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what becomes of that. The interview yesterday went very well, and they said that they would call me as soon as they placed me. I have to call them and let them know what I am looking for as far as employment is concerned. They have a manufacturing job, and it's in Plainfield, which isn't too far. And I want clerical. I really want to do office management just because I feel more comfortable doing that. Even though people are like, you want to work a cubicle. I will be actually on my feet later on in my life, just going about and meeting people, doing things, exploring, and just living. Actually living for once. Going outside of my comfort zone. Usually I don't do that, but we shall see what becomes of what will be. That's a very kind of philosophical way to say it, but until next time, live long and prosper. Ciao, Tutti.